Hello everybody, welcome to my shack. And today we're gonna be discussing all the changes I'd make to the tail beasts from Naruto Shippuden. I don't know how everybody else feels, but I would have loved to see the Jinchuriki and tail beasts involved more in the story of Naruto Shippuden. An arc or two or something, man. It doesn't even have to be focused on the tail beasts themselves, as long as they're involved in some way and we're getting to learn more about them, their relationship with their Jinchuriki, how each of them connected, how they bond, how they feel about each other, That would have been amazing. Like, just literally anything. This video was inspired by how many forms we see Naruto go through. Anyway, the first person we're gonna look at today is Gaara from the Hidden Sand. He is the wielder of the one-tailed beast Shukaku. With Gaara, I noticed that he doesn't do a lot of taijutsu, and in his defense, he doesn't need to. His sand already gives him tons of insane range and protection, so why should he go in like that? Because I said so. So the idea behind this redesign so that we get more taijutsu out of him, I loved those fight scenes we'd have between different characters just squabbling up. Imagine, right? He takes off his gourd, he puts it down, he weaves some hand signs, and instead of going full tail beast, he either takes on his childhood version of that because I think it's cool, scary, and creepy, or we get this redesign where these marks that are all over Shikaku start spreading across his arms, and then he gets that black mark that goes from Shikaku's eyes all the way to his mouth, but on Gaara's face, and then he gains Shikaku's eyes, and then he'd grow a tail. That's the whole transformation. In this form, he'd use taijutsu more often than not. The sand would just be there for him going up to grab an enemy and bring him closer, or throw them, or maybe make giant sand constructs to crush them with maybe a giant fist. So in this form, the sand would be his main fighting style. It would be an extension of his taijutsu. He'd keep the same powers just like every other tail beast. When he loses control, he'd go into that red chakra cloak form, and when it's not that, he'd fully transform into Shukaku. Next up is the beautiful Yugito Ni from the Hidden Cloud. She is the Jinchuriki of the two tails, Matatabi. Imagine, you're going up a gangster, and you think you have her by the ropes, but no, she pulls this out of her sleeve. She transforms, right? And her whole body bursts into black and blue flames. But what is this? She's not burning up. This is the aura around her. This is Matatabi's aura. She gains this blue Super Saiyan Mitsuki Sage Mode transformation type aura around her. That was the inspiration for this form. Now you're thinking, oh, what does this do? What is she gonna do to me that she wasn't doing to me before she transformed? That's a good question. And to that I say, don't touch her, because you are going to burn, and those flames hurt more than regular fire. For your sake, I hope you have some long distance range jutsu, fire resistance, or some netherite, because your ass is cooked. And I don't think your insurance is covering this, if you have any to speak of. Oh, and it gets worse, because she hasn't even grown her first tail. When she does that, she gains the ability to grow claws, Wolverine-esque claws. I don't want them to be coming out of her nails, as nails or whatever, so I switched the position to have them coming out as Wolverine claws. Better stay away from those two, because when they scratch you, it's not just a normal scratch. You are gonna start burning up to that too. And with these flames, they sort of mimic Amaterasu, where they can just burn indefinitely. But with her, she has to focus on keeping them active rather than them just burning forever. If she's not focusing, the flames will eventually go out if your ass is not cooked by then. And now for the Pistel Resistance. When she grows her second tail, she gets the ability to cast a Tail Beast Bomb. And then from here, it's the usual, lose control, red cloak, if not that, full Matatabi transformation. Next, you find yourself face to face with the fourth Mizukage of the Hidden Mist, Yagura of the Three Tails, otherwise known as Isobu. The Tail Beast is called Isobu. Now, I don't know what you did, but this nigga is pissed. And from the looks of it, he doesn't look like he's here around to play. You probably called him short or something, and he did not appreciate that. Now, he weaves a couple of hand signs, right? And you see parts of his skin start to darken to the same shade as Isobu. His eyes change, and you notice the parts that darkened got harder and rougher, and around his shoulders and arms, he grew a couple spikes. And those spikes are poisonous, so don't touch those. But what you also notice is he didn't harden everywhere. The parts where he's still himself, his inner arms, his belly, all of that, are still normal, but the outer stuff, those have been hardened. Meaning, if you can just attack the non-darkened areas, you can damage this nigga. Whoopee, you're celebrating, right? But then you notice, that's just the first tail. He whips out the second one, and then what he then tells you is that don't even think about trying to swim away from him, because he can now breathe and move faster than normal underwater.
I am
Yes,
under the
sir, he can do
water.
that now.
Please
And
help
even if
me.
you're thinking, oh, maybe I'll just outpace him on land, if he even gets close to you, he has the ability to summon this Kisame water bubble, which he can trap you in and then moidle you. You are really not safe. To balance things out, I made him really weak to fire in this form. Like, weaker than normal, right? Let's just hope you can use fire style. Or maybe you brought Yugito with you. You made friends with her. Prepare yourself, Pokey, because this one's a bit of a doozy. You feel me? So, when the third tail grows, to compensate for the fact that he couldn't, protect the softer parts, he gains the ability to grow turtle shell-like shield on either of his arms. He can even combine them to make an even bigger shield. But as like every other shield, it can only take so many hits. And after that, he has to regenerate the shield inside of himself. It's kind of like a cooldown, so that he isn't just spamming shield. Yeah, it's mainly to protect the front, the bits that are not hardened. And on top of that, he gains the Tail Beast Bomb. But you probably already knew that, because you've already dealt with the other Tail Beasts. They're dangerous. Why are you fighting the Tail Beasts, my guy? Next up, we have not Yoshi, but Roshi. Not to be confused with the Master Roshi. He is from the Hidden Stone. He is the Jinchuriki of the four-tailed beast Son Goku. Not to be confused with Son Goku from Dragon Ball. With Roshi, I wouldn't really change much, because I really like him the way he already is. But what I would add is maybe, since he's like a walking Dragon Ball reference, maybe have him in a Super Saiyan 4 Goku kind of look, But if we don't want to go that way, we can make him take on a gorilla kind of form, bigger upper body, bigger strength. And then in terms of the hair allocation, he'd still kind of look like Super Saiyan 4 Goku, yeah, but just if Super Saiyan 4 Goku looked like a gorilla, he wouldn't have the Super Saiyan 4 hair on his head, rather just the fur. Yeah, and apart from that, he has all his base abilities, He can cloak himself in lava, Tail Beast Bomb, and at this point, you're just tired of running into Tail Beasts randomly. Even when you're not at fault, they're always trying to murk you. You feel me? So, earlier, you were with the Akatsuki, and you told them about your situation. They didn't believe you, but they didn't want to rule out the possibility that it's actually happening. So they had Itachi place a crow that, always follows you. So now you don't even have to worry about Roshi, because Itachi will just handle that, or whoever that Katsuki decide to send. Yes, sir. Man, is your luck bad. Because guess who's in the area? Han, from the same place, the Hidden Stone, the Jinchuriki of the Five Tails, Kokuo. And at this point, Itachi is shocked, because he's just like, two tail beasts in one day? What the hell? So, Han has arrived, and both of y'all are prepared to take this nigga on. He weaves some hand signs. He's serious. He's not playing about his brother Roshi. Well, no, they're not really brothers, but for the sake of this video, they are. And they're really close. They're from the same place. They understand each other's pain. He weaves some hand signs, and you notice he grows some horns on his head. The same horns that are on Kokuo's head. And he grows Kokuo's 5 tails. And you notice the tips of those tails are spiky. So we probably don't want to be near those, In this form, not only does he have the Tail Beast Bomb, he unlocks a new ability he's been working on called the Blood Mist. Inspired by the Hidden Mist being called the Blood Mist because of all the murder that goes on there. So what he does is he infuses his blood with his steam and chakra to create this mist. The steam, since he's known for steam. Yeah, steam, not mist. That makes sensing hard. It just blocks everything out. It even hides his presence, chakra-wise as well. His presence is hidden, meaning sensory ninja can't sense him, So you can't even see through it. The only thing you can see is the person standing next to you, yourself, and that's it. And here's the thing, you can't even bring a smell-based tracking ninja, someone like Kiba. All they'd smell is iron. But now you're just like, oh, what if we bring a wind style user? They can just blow away the steam, And to that I say, Smart thinking. But if Han decides it's on sight, that steam is not going anywhere. Because just like Yugito and needing to focus to keep it there, it's the same with Han. As long as he's focused on keeping it there, that mist is not going anywhere. You blow it away, it's going to gather right back where it was, and he can just pick y'all off one by one. Because he can sense y'all presence, he can feel y'all chakra. It increases his sensory ability, though I am not sure if he actually has any. In this state, he does. He can feel your chakra and presence within the mist. Remember how Hinata can use Gentle Step Twin Lion Fist? Oh yeah, Han can do that too, like a variation of that. Instead of the lions, it's just Koku's head, you know, and that just increases like the strength of his punch. Also, he can also do that on his feet. So bro's a walking battering ram. This is the last time I'm gonna say it, but everybody has that like red cloak form and then their full tail beast bomb. I just want to like stop saying it just so I can get to other things a lot faster, you know. Just know if I don't mention it, everybody has it. You and Itachi somehow managed to beat both Roshi and Han together. You return back to the Akatsuki hideout, and at this point Itachi vouches for you, because what are the chances Han was in the area? Itachi believes in you, you know? He vouches for you. Pain is just like, alright nigga, we gonna cut you a deal. You help us locate, capture, and defeat each of the tail beasts. What we shall do is hand you a large sum of money. But what that means is that we're also going to install a tail beast in you to further enhance your fighting prowess. We're going to put it under genjutsu so it just listens to you, you know. And then after that, we'll just take it out and do whatever we want to do, and that'll be the end of that. Or if you're down, you could even join the Akatsuki as a permanent member. I'ma assume the consequences of extracting a tail beast aren't common knowledge, so off the bat you don't know that you're gonna die if they pull that shit out of you, you know. Yeah, you're just tired of running into these tail beasts and you want that to stop because apparently you're a tail beast magnet. That and not wanting to be jumped by the Akatsuki and the tail beasts, and those are the few reasons you decide to help them. Their plan is after you help them, they're just gonna leave you to die, you know, but you don't know that yet because they don't 100% trust you. They're just using you as a means to an end. You wanted Kokuo, but your chakra nature was fire, so they decided to stall Matatabi inside you. Using you as bait, you run into Utakata of the Hidden Mist, the Jinjuriki of the Six Tails Saiken, who's pissed now because you insulted his sense of fashion and his bum-ass hairstyle. You didn't come unprepared. Earlier, you guys had sent out Zetsus to collect information on this guy and learned that when he transforms into the Six Tails, he becomes this slime. No tails, just him covered in slime. But the thing is, you can't physically hit him because that stuff is very poisonous, and he can also spray poison from his mouth. So long distance fighting this dude is the sweet spot. Or maybe someone with like ice release or something. He also learned he can make 6 clones that can do basically the same thing as him. You can't touch them. And these aren't no ordinary clones. No, no, no. They can take a bit more punishment than regular clones. So you better bring your A game when fighting this guy. Because if you try to hit one of the clones, your hand's gonna get stuck in one of them. And they're just all gonna approach you and just cover you in slime until you're trapped in it. And then they seal you in it. Like let's say you do manage to get some damage in on this guy. One of the clones can just go back into Utakata and heal him. I mean, that's less clones to worry about, but the dude's healed now after whatever damage you just inflicted on this dude. Don't forget about his tail beast bomb and that he can still fully transform into Saiken, you know. Next, you run into Fu of the Hidden Waterfall. She is the Jinjuriki of the Seven Tails, like he's Seven Chome, and for her, I decided to keep the wings she grows, you know, but this time I also add a tail with a stinger at the end that she can use to administer poison into your blood. She can inject liquids that make you fall asleep and liquids that paralyze you, or all of them at the same time. Likewise, out of her mouth, she can spray mists that do the same thing as the liquids coming out of her tail. She has her tail beast bomb, she has the full transformation, she even has a cocoon she can shoot at you that will absorb your chakra. let's say you did some damage to her. Whatever damage she took, it'll inflict on you and then start healing her. Meaning if you cut off her arm, you will lose an arm and her arm will grow back. Did I also mention that cocoon also poisons you, puts you to sleep, and paralyzes you as well? You're cooked at that point. You're cooked. Better hope Fu gives you some grace, because when Fu gets serious, she can encase herself fully in armor. I probably said this in the beginning, but I won't be doing Naruto or Killer Bee because I like them just the way they are. Yeah, thank you for watching this video, and I shall see you in the next one.